What is going on, my homies? I got my buddy Ryan from Cast Baits. Ryan is my hookup when it comes to rigs, dude. If you guys remember back, he showed me what we're gonna call the twaddle rig. Basically, it's a Fluke style bait. Like they make the Echo. Cast Baits makes the Echo. It's a 5.3, 5.5.
So we got a 5.4. That's what we used for the video, 5.4.
5.4. So we used a 5.4, basically like a Fluke style bait. And Ryan had this cool rig to actually make it like vibrate, almost like a lipless crankbait. It was absolutely stupid. So as things kind of developed, Ryan's kind of figured out, and a bunch of guys have been working on it, they figured out kind of a cool way to make that rig more efficient, because we were having troubles with the hover hook that we were using, slipping and sliding. We had to tie like this braid keeper onto it, and basically it just wasn't efficient. The bait would slide down the hook when you'd catch like one fish, miss a bite. So I'm going to have Ryan walk through this absolutely sick kind of rig and the way they've improved it to get this vibrating action when you actually reel a fluke through the water.
All right, so I want to show you guys what we've kind of improved upon since the last video. As Mikey mentioned, sourcing those hover rig hooks, especially weightless ones, were pretty tough. I got a million messages about where to find those. That was hard. The bait was slipping. We were using braid to keep it there. Just wasn't efficient. It got the bites, which was really cool, but it wasn't efficient. So I met up with my friends at Queen Tackle. Elite Series Pro KJ Queen designed the Queen roller head, okay? And I want you to look at this because this is pretty unique. If you look where the line tie is on this bait right here, it's behind the head. And you can see that we're also putting the head in between the eyes. A lot of times we rig right in the front. What that does is it gives this whole body amazing listing action when you're shaking your rod. But what KJ showed me, and this is the juice, this is what I showed Mikey, we get fired up about these things, is that right here on this 1/8 size, you're gonna wanna tie a loop knot. You can cast this out and get that same kind of vibrating rattle trap action, and you're not going to have to go through a million baits on one fish. It's a very compact system. It stays on there. You can get multiple catches, and it's just easier to deal with, and these things are way easier to source. So I got over here today with Mikey. I want to show you guys exactly how to rig this. It is probably one of the most natural presentations I have ever seen with a soft plastic. A few weeks ago, I was on a very tough lake. The bites, we call it Lake Impossible in North Carolina, okay? And they wouldn't bite anything. I was able to get some really good key bites just slow rolling this thing. And when you see it in the water, guys, it's incredible. It just vibes just like a real fish. I think it's the most natural thing I have seen in fishing so far. So let me show you guys how to rig this. All right, so as I mentioned, you don't need a bunch of components to do this anymore. Everything is in this jig head right here and the Echo. So I want to show you guys exactly how to rig this. So the first thing I like to do is I want to line this up so I can see where the hook's going to come out. Guys, you want to take your time with this. If you don't have this straight, it's going to swim off fouled up. So take your time when you're rigging it. And like I said, the first thing I want to do, I just lay the roller head right here. You can see the jig head's going to sit behind the eyes, and this hook is going to come out right behind the fin back here. So I go in right here, I look at the eyes, and I'm going to split them on the top. So about right there. And I want to get that as centered as I can. I don't go super deep into the bait, okay? I just kind of lightly go through. And like I said, you just want to take your time feeding this through, okay? And I know this is going to come out at this back fin back here, okay? So I got it like that, and I just slide it right there. So now I've got the bait perfectly straight. You guys can see that sitting right in between the eyes. What's kind of cool too is this keeper, it actually pinches onto the plastic. I'm sorry, the line tie pinches onto the plastic right here. So your bait is not gonna slide. Guys, we've completely eliminated that. You can catch 20 plus fish. If you've ever used this type plastic before, you can catch 20 plus fish off this bait right here. You're not gonna be re-rigging. You're not gonna be tying braid on this. And it is just a really, really cool way. Once again, something the fish haven't seen 1,000 times, and we're fired up about this. This is a 3.5 Echo right here, and this is the 1/8 ounce Queen Rollin' Strollin' jig head. All right. One thing that's very important with this rig I want to point out to you guys, you're going to want to tie a small loop knot on the back of this. This is going to help get that listing action when you're reeling it. Also, when you cast it out, it will get a lot of shaking action. So there's two different ways we fish this. The first way is going to be, you're going to make a long cast, let it sink down, and this is it, guys. You just slowly reel in. And what that's going to do, it's going to cause that Echo just to shimmy and swim just like a natural fish. This is really good on high pressured lakes, super clear water, something where you want to be very natural. Now, the second way we fish it, and this is when you're going to want to get a reaction or get the fish to rise, is you'll throw it out there and you hold your rod tip up and just do some light shakes while you're retrieving. Where this jig head sits on this bait in this style, guys, you would not believe how hard this thing will fall back and forth in list. It's absolutely incredible. And so you can shake it over the fish and then speed it up. And one more thing I want to point out, when you're doing that slow roll presentation, if you get a fish behind it, you can speed this up a good amount without it burning out. So there's ways to trigger bites, whether you're slow rolling it, whether you're shaking it back and forth. You have a lot of options, and you're just going to adapt to what the fish are showing you that day when you're on the water.
It pays to have a guy who knows sneak rigs, right? And this is an improvement on kind of that twaddle rig. It's twaddle rig 2.0, and it's a lot easier because you don't need those two components, the hover hook and then that little kind of Nico weight. It's a jig head, you need the bait, it rigs up. It's a lot more streamlined, and it's not going to like pull your pants down when you miss a bite or catch a fish. You can catch multiples without, you know, having to re-rig, and that was really the biggest headache we ran into on Guntersville with this thing. But Ryan's always hooking me up with sneaky stuff. I really see a lot of potential. You guys know how much I love fishing at Kitech. Really, this is almost like a bootless Kitech, dude. It has that side-to-side wobble, and it's getting that movement and action while you're just reeling. And dude, like, just tight lining this thing, letting it kind of like shimmy back to the bottom, and then slow rolling it as we get into these like winter conditions when these fish are in ditches and stuff. It could get pretty naughty. But hit that like and subscribe button for me. Go check Ryan out at Cast Baits. They got a bunch of like instruction videos and like hype reels, and they make cool stuff. Ryan's a good dude, and they make some really fun stuff that it's funny because it works really well for spots, and then we go and we reapply it and we catch really big largemouth on it. But we'll see you later. I will put links to all this stuff down in the description box for you guys to check out. Try out the Twaddle Rig 2.0.